So what is Shakespeare up to in staging this dream in the middle of summer, where everyone seems just a little bit off, only to be seeing halfway or through a glass darkly, as Paul might say. What is he after? And I think one of the things he's after is trying to suggest a different way of knowing, not something special, but something rather ordinary, which is it's part of the human experience that we rely on our flawed feelings, our flawed sensibilities, our flawed sense of ourselves to understand the world. We like to think of ourselves as perfectly rational creatures, but we hardly ever act that way. Let's go then to Act 5, Scene 1, where everyone has emerged from the forest. The special potion has been removed and Bottom has been retransformed. And we're brought back to where we were at the beginning of the play with Theseus and Hippolyta getting ready to discuss their wedding plans. And Hippolyta remarks on everything that's happened. She says, "'Tis strange, my Theseus, that these lovers speak of." And Theseus responds in a quintessentially male way, which is to say, yes, it's odd, but there's a perfectly rational explanation for all these misrecognitions, all these misguided love patterns. "More strange than true," he says. "I never may believe these antique fables nor these fairy toys. Lovers and madmen have such seething brains, such shaping fantasies that apprehend more than cool reason ever comprehends. The lunatic, the lover, and the poet are of imagination all compact." One of Shakespeare's most quoted lines. "One sees more devils than vast hell can hold," that is the madman. "The lover all is frantic sees Helen's beauty in a brow of Egypt, the poet's eye in a fine frenzy rolling. They doth glance from heaven to earth, from earth to heaven. And as imagination bodies forth the forms of things unknown, the poet's pen turns them to shapes and gives to airy nothing a local habitation and a name. Such tricks has strong imagination, that if it would cut but apprehend some joy, it comprehends some bringer of that joy. Or in the night, imagining some fear, how easy is a bush supposed to bear." In other words, lovers, madmen, poets, and we could toss in the religious, operate outside of clear, cool reason. And that's what this is all about. There's an easy explanation for religion, for love, for art, for poetry. What Theseus doesn't realize in his rational confidence, however, is that he's transforming all those things into something they're not. He's making them all one thing, reason and rationality. Yet our human experience bears out that art, love, madness, all these things happen that don't always make reasonable sense. And Shakespeare gives that word of caution to the appropriate person here, that is Theseus's wife-to-be, Hippolyta. Immediately after Theseus gives this quintessentially all-male knowing speech, Hippolyta undercuts him entirely. She says, "But all the story of the night told over, and all their minds transfigured so together, more witnesses than fancy's images engrossed to something of great constancy. But howsoever strange and admirable," in other words, something is happening here. There is a way of experiencing the world that's important and real, and your description of it, Theseus, doesn't get at it. It doesn't get at it. As confident as you may express it, there's a certain kind of violence to your willingness to try to explain something other, something that you don't fully understand. Shakespeare, via Hippolyta here, is cautioning Theseus, and thus cautioning a whole audience to be a bit gentle, to be wary of our habit of mind that says we can explain everything. And more specifically, the habit of mind that says we can explain other people, right? Nothing feels worse to us than when someone tries to explain ourselves to us. Our first natural inclination is always, "You don't know me." And we respond in that way because the tendency of others to try to explain others is a violent act. It's an imposition, and we almost instinctively or intuitively resist it as such. You don't know me. You don't have all the answers. There is a part of human experience that stays outside of reason or rationality, and some of the names we give to that part of human experience that stays outside of reason and rationality are madness, art, love, poetry, and they are all of imagination compact.